my lovely rays of sunshine. Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Serenity. My name is Michelle. How are you today? I hope you're feeling well wherever you are on Mother Earth. I know I am, but I am sending you some sunshine and some serenity your way today. Now, today's video, we will discuss 3 secrets on how to handle any and all life situations that are presented to you. Now, it's important to note that life will come with all different types of situations. Some situations will be pleasant and satisfactory, and some situations will be filled with challenges and adversity. But I do want to remind you, and it is important to note, that no situation is good or bad. The same way with life. Every life situation is what it is. And the labeling of good or bad simply comes from perspective, and it can come from your perspective, my perspective. Everybody's perspective is different. So what can be good for me can be bad for you. What can be good for you can be bad for me, and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind, that the good and bad is not in the situation itself. The situation simply is what it is. And you are the one who decides to make it good or bad, to make it work for you or not work for you. So, that is why I want to share these 3 secrets with you on how to handle any life situation that is presented to you. I want to direct this video to anyone who is feeling stuck right now. Stuck in a job they hate, in a job they don't want to be at. Stuck in a country or a city they are miserable in, they don't feel happy in. Stuck in a toxic relationship, a toxic friendship, or even just relationship with your family, whatever the case is. This is for you guys. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like the situation that you're currently in is just having you miserable, is draining your energy, these 3 secrets will change your life. I'm going to start off by letting you know what these 3 secrets are, and then I'm going to go into explaining them in a little bit more detail as I go on with the video. 3 secrets are: accept the situation, change the situation, or remove yourself from the situation. Now, when it comes to accepting a situation, you need to make sure that if you choose to accept a situation, you are fully accepting it. Therefore, you don't have any resistance inside of you to what's going on. You don't have any remorse or guilt or grudge to what is going on in life for you. When you fully accept something, you surrender to what it is. Like I said, whether that's something unpleasant, uncomfortable, even unbearable, if you choose to accept it, you need to make sure you are not resisting and that you are fully surrendering to the situation itself. Now, when it comes to changing the situation, that's pretty straightforward. If you are stuck in a situation where you feel very uncomfortable, it's very unpleasant for you, see what you can do to change it, to alter it, to fix something. Is there someone you can talk to change it? Is there something you can physically, personally do to change the situation? Now, if there isn't, we're left with removing yourself from the situation. If you choose not to accept it, therefore, you're like, you know what, this is too much suffering, too much pain, I refuse to accept this situation for what it is, and there's nothing you can do to change it, you can't talk to anyone, you can't take personal action, then remove yourself from the situation. Pretty straightforward. That means no longer being involved in the situation you are currently in. What happens when adversity is presented to us, when we're faced with challenges in life, is we get frustrated. We get worried, and what happens when we worry is we don't solve anything. We don't solve any situation. We don't come up with solutions, with new ideas. We leave very little room for innovation and creativity and actually clear and focused thoughts. So now I want to share with you the do's and the don'ts when it comes to how to handle your life situation. I want to start off with what not to do when it comes to handling any life situation. The do nots, okay? So you do not want to worry about any situation that is presented to you. The reason for that is because worrying will do absolutely nothing for you except stress you out, give you anxiety, make you feel tired, clutter your mind. What worrying does is creates inner turmoil and inner conflict. You start to fight with the voices in your head. You start to come up with really bad ideas because they're not ideas coming from a place of a clear mind, a place of peace, a place of a place of focus. It's coming from stress and fear and anxiety and, oh my God, I have so many problems and issues. It won't allow you to come up with a solution. So do not worry. Worry will do absolutely nothing for you. Another do not is do not complain. Complaining is something else that will do absolutely nothing for you except drive you crazy. When you complain, you almost turn yourself into a victim. You start victimizing yourself and creating that victim identity for yourself. And that not only affects you, but it will also affect those that are around you. Nobody likes to be around someone that complains. Nobody likes to surround themselves with those type of people, and you shouldn't put yourself through that either, because complaining will not solve a single thing. It will just keep the situation going, and if anything, maybe even make it worse, because you're not coming up with a solution to your situation. So, do not worry and do not complain. Another do not is do not just remain in your comfort zone. A comfort zone is nothing but a comfort zone. It is comfortable. You can feel like, okay, I'm safe here. This is my safe spot. Staying only in your comfort zone does not provide room for growth, does not allow you to be coming up with new ideas, to be coming up with solutions. So try and get out of your comfort zone. Do things that you wouldn't typically do to maybe come up with a fresh idea, to clear your mind. Try and get out of your comfort zone. It will not benefit you for handling life situations. The way I like to see a comfort zone is doing the same thing every day and expecting different results. It's almost insane to think that by doing the same thing that you're doing every day, you're going to magically receive a different result, a different outcome. That doesn't work that way. So that's why you want to make sure you're not always only in your comfort zone. You want to step outside of the box and do something differently. Do something maybe you've never done before. Now, another do not is do not have fear. Do not be afraid of your life situation. Like I said, it can be unpleasant, it can be unbearable, it can be even just plain suffering and pain, but you do not want to become fearful. You do not want to dive into that stage and that frequency of fear, because nothing grows when you are controlled by fear. Nothing comes to you when you are controlled by fear. Fear will only block and restrict all possibilities of opportunity, all possibilities of growth. So you want to make sure you do not go into a state of fear. Do not let your life situations, like I said, whether good or bad, control you enough to put you in a state of fear. Alright, now we're going to discuss the do's when it comes to handling your life situations. What to do. When you are presented with a life situation, you want to make sure you can create a plan. Create a plan that works for you, that will benefit you in the long run. In order to create a plan, sometimes you need to sit down and be with yourself in silence and think. Think with a clear mind. Think out of a place of peace. Do not think with a worried mind, with a stressed mind. Think in peace. Come up with a plan. If you want to write things down, journal things, that's a great way to start coming up with a plan. And you don't only just want a plan. You want to make sure you have a backup plan too, just in case. You never know. If anything, sometimes your backup plan can become your plan A. Make sure you make a plan for yourself. Make sure you have a backup plan as well. Like I said, if it's that you're stuck in a job that you hate, you want to leave that job. Let's say you refuse to accept the job. Let's say you can't change it. There's no one you can talk to change, what you dislike about the job. Maybe your manager chooses to not listen to you or just shrug you off, avoid the situation, whatever the case may be. Then what you're left with is removing yourself from the situation, right? So if you remove yourself from the situation, you need to make sure you have a plan. You can't just leave the job one day and just, hope everything falls into place. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a backup plan. Figure out what it is that you can do to benefit you, short-term and long-term. Now, along with this, you also want to make sure you take calculated risks and calculated actions. Make sure you're meticulously putting together your plan. You're meticulously listing the details of what it is that you need to do, what it is that you need to figure out, what it is that you need to obtain, what you need to provide, what you need to offer, whatever the case may be. Make sure you're meticulous about all of those things so that you are aware that you can take the right steps necessary. Take the right action that works for you. Think about the situation as a whole. Think of it as a big picture and look at it in detail as well. You want to get the best of both worlds. You want to make sure you can do both things. Now, another do is to trust yourself. You want to trust yourself in any and all situations that are presented to you. Sometimes, like I said, when we're presented with difficult situations, we get freaked out, we panic, we get anxious, we get stressed, we start to worry, and this doesn't leave much room for you. You need to start to learn to trust yourself. Listen to that inner voice that you have. Listen to your intuition a bit more. But most importantly, trust yourself. I'll give you the example. I used to live somewhere that didn't make me feel happy. I felt uncomfortable. I felt a little bit trapped. I just overall wasn't very positive about the situation. I was very upset, to be quite honest with you. And what I chose is to not accept the situation. I said to myself, I no longer want to be here because I'm just living somewhere I don't want to be. Life is too short to be doing things you don't want to do and to be somewhere you don't want to be. So I said, you know what, I refuse to accept this. I don't want to accept this as my permanent city to live in or my permanent country to live in. So what I did was I did 2 out of the 3 secrets that I just shared with you. I changed the situation and I removed myself from the situation. I created, though, a plan, a backup plan, a backup plan. I very meticulously journaled away like crazy. I would plan down to the very last detail. What would this outcome be? What might this outcome be? What would this result lead to? What if I did this? What if I did that? And I took the necessary action and calculated risk to do something about a situation I was not satisfied with. And I am so thankful that I did. Because, like I said, life is too short to be somewhere you don't want to be and to be doing something you don't want to do. So, that's just one example that I'm sharing with you from my life journey. That is something I did. And I was able to do that as well, not only through planning and through action and calculation, but it was through trust. I trusted myself enough, and I knew that I had my own back. I knew that if I took the risk, if I took the necessary action, because I am me, I can do it. And I can somehow always figure out a way to do it and to make it. And that's how I think every day, and I encourage you to think that way as well. Start trusting yourself more. Start learning to trust yourself more. You're going to make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. But you need to keep in mind that if you fall, you can be the only one to pick yourself back up. You shouldn't rely on anyone, and you shouldn't rely on any salvation in the future from a future situation that you think is going to save you. No. Create that trust with yourself today to do what you want to do. If you want to leave that 9 to 5 that you can't stand, do it. Trust yourself enough to say, you know what, I'm going to change this, or I'm going to remove myself from the situation and figure something out for myself. Come up with a plan A, plan B, plan. Take risks, calculate, write down details, take action. For God's sake, A lot of us love to talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, but we don't actually take the action, and that is the number one important thing to do. I remember when I lived in the city I wasn't so fond of, I would complain and I would be worried because I was constantly feeling miserable and not in a very good place. And I would just, when I was younger, I remember I'd be like, oh, I'm eventually going to move, I'm eventually going to move. And I actually took the initiative to do so. I took the correct action to do so when I could. When I had the resources to do it, after I'd finished all my planning, I took the action. I didn't just leave it up in the air. I didn't just speak it. I took action. And that's what you need to do if you want to handle any and all life situations that are presented your way. Now, another do, and this one is the most important one, is to be grateful. You want to be grateful for everything that you have, regardless of any situation that you are in. If you are in pain, if you are suffering, if you feel like you are miserable, if, whatever the situation is, you want, at the end of the day, to be grateful, to give some sort of token of appreciation to the fact that you are still alive, to the fact that you even woke up today, because that is a miracle and that is an honor. We think we're entitled to, wake up every day for the rest of our lives, but that's not the case. It is an honor to wake up every single day because your life is not guaranteed to you. And that's why I tell you, your life is very, very short for you to be somewhere you don't want to be or to do something you don't want to do. By all means, handle life situations correctly. Do not, once again, complain, do not worry, do not let fear control you or guide you. Do not become a victim. Don't create that victim identity for yourself. Come into your space, okay? Come into your space, create some sort of plan, take action, calculate, plan out the details, trust yourself, learn to trust yourself, and be appreciative of everything that you have. If you are breathing today, congratulations, because that, once, like I said, is a miracle. The fact that you're breathing today is an absolute miracle, and you should feel absolutely grateful for it. So, those are my 3 secrets on how to handle any and all life situations. Once again, accept the situation. If you choose to accept the situation, please keep in mind you cannot have any residual resistance inside of you. You need to make sure you have fully surrendered to the situation, that you fully accept the situation, that you actually, if anything, embrace it for what it is, whether it's good or bad in your mind, if you choose to accept it. If you cannot accept it, if you refuse to accept it, if you say, if anything, I'm tired of accepting it, I'm tired of playing along and pretending like it's fine, whatever the case is and whatever situation you're in, then figure out if you can change it. What can you do to change it? Make a plan. Once again, take action. Do something to see if you can change the situation to benefit you, to make you feel better. If you can't change the situation, then you're left with removing yourself from the situation. Exit. Exit the situation. Leave the room if you have to, whatever the case is. Figure out if you can remove yourself from the situation. Keep in mind, you can do one of these 3 tips. If not, you can sometimes even do 2 out of the 3. But you can always do one of them. When you're feeling overwhelmed and your brain and your mind is cluttered with, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have this problem and the other problem. All these situations are piling up. I don't know what to do. Keep in mind, remember these 3 secrets. There's only 3 options of what you can do. Stop thinking about everything else, because everything else is just excessive thinking and very unnecessary. It's just going to put you in a very low vibration and a low state. Keep these 3 secrets in the back of your mind. Accept it, change it, or remove yourself from it. That's all. That's all. Remember, those are the only 3 options you have. You don't need to think about anything else. You don't need to worry. You don't need to complain. Don't become a victim. Just figure out which one of these 3 you can pursue, which one of these 3 you can move forward with, and take action from there. trust yourself today and start learning to trust yourself today. If you would like to know how to start trusting yourself, I recommend you watch my video on how to protect your energy, because I go in a little bit into a little bit of detail in that video as well, and I highly recommend that video during these times, and especially if you're in a difficult situation. Like I said, this one is for you guys if you're feeling stuck somewhere, if you're feeling miserable with your current life situation. Check out my other video on how to protect your energy. It will benefit you as well. And check out my other videos on how to meditate so that you can start creating that great relationship with yourself and what the benefits of meditation are. I've done all these videos. I've done all of these self-improvement content for you. I really recommend that you check it out so that you can start living your best life. You can become your greatest version. Because guys, I'm going to say it again, life is too damn short for you to be upset, for you to be feeling like the world is against you. The world is not against you. Nobody is against you. Only you are. And I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds insane, but the reality of it all is that you can be your own best friend, or you can be your own enemy. There's no in between. You can be the person that motivates yourself, that supports yourself 100%, or you can be that person that you put yourself down, you self-doubt, you talk down to yourself, you criticize yourself. Which one would you like to be? So, that will be it for this video. Along my journey, I've learned to take these 3 secrets and always keep them in the back of my mind, because, hello, I'm guilty of it too. Something bad happens to me, or unpleasant happens to me. I get nervous, initially maybe I panic a little bit, and I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But then I always think, Michelle, there's only 3 things you can do, really. When it comes down to it, there's 3 things that you can do. Do what you need to do to get your shit together. Take responsibility for your life right now. You don't continue waiting for, I'll think about it, next week, or I'll take it into consideration tomorrow. Like, start right now. Take responsibility for your life right now, guys. A lot of you are somewhere you don't want to be. A lot of you are with people you don't even want to be. A lot of you are just not even living your fullest and best life because you choose not to. If you don't live your own life, someone else will live it for you, and I can promise you that. So take this into consideration. These 3 secrets on how to handle any life situation that is presented to you. Alright? So, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day today, wherever you are. Once again, I send you all of the sunshine, all of the serenity your way, and take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself today and always. Thank you so much for watching.